Tongue of the Trees channel. I'm Elizabeth Ashley, the Secret Healer, and today we're asking, what is Ylang Ylang essential oil good for? And of course we're focusing on the emotional, mental and spiritual aspects of the essential oil. Then we're going to look at the safety and also the blending of this beautiful, beautiful oil. I've got the wrong one in my hands. Here we go. Here we go. So now, between you and I've only just done the peppermint video, so the room is redolent of peppermint. And the two really don't go very well at all. But here we go. She's finally coming through. Beautiful and heady, sultry, languid, delightful. She really is. She's like lying back after the greatest sex. She is, she is. And she's just like all woman. She really is oozy and sensuous and oh, beautiful and joyful, you know. She's not an argument before sex. This is, oh, this was good. This is what we wanted. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful and very, very playful. You know, it's quite an attractive quality, isn't it? If somebody remembers how to play, you know, as you get older it's hard to remember how to play, how to giggle and just to be light, you know. And you can really sense the beautiful flowers on the tree. I've already seen Gergely's blending video, so I know that he's going to tell you about 3 of the things I was going to tell you, which was rude, frankly, but still. At least I'm guessing I've probably done that to him several times. So I won't tell you about the scientific stuff, but the trees, beautiful, great big tree from Madagascar. And you can just feel it sort of going, oh, in the breeze. And you know when you see the people with their leis of beautiful flowers around their neck, those are Ylang Ylang flowers traditionally. So that kind of hula, ooh, beautiful movement, sumptuous, everything's moving, lithe, that's the word I'm looking for. Feel it right through the body, and it's saucy, it's beautiful. And connect that for a moment, connect it to the physical properties. It brings the blood pressure down. You can see how it would, you know. Oh, there's no stress because I'm too busy having fun on the beach with the sunshine, in the breeze, next to the waves. You're right there. It's completely captured in a bottle, completely. So the blood pressure comes down very quickly. It's aphrodisiac. Well, it's just oozy and juicy and ooh, you know, it's just bursting completely. And it's balancing. I mean, we all need that, don't we? We all live heavy lives, heavy, stressful lives. And so this is the breeze that goes, get out of yourself. Come on. Beautiful. You know, and it's a feminine oil, but it's beautiful for men too, because these videos, I talk about a woman's experience. A woman's experience is quite hard in life, you know. We're riddled with hormones. We live in an unjust society. Inequality is rampant. The excuse for equality just means that we got extra paid jobs that we don't get paid for. You know, it's hard, but also from a man's point of view, that's hard too. The onus to provide, to be there, to be, and to have a feminine side as well as a masculine side. We never asked them to do that before. Now we demand it. It's a lot of expectations. And Ylang Ylang goes, come and play. Let's go and build. Let's go and make out on the beach. You know, forget life. Forget it. And you tell me you don't need that in your life, because I most certainly do. What I will tell you though is it's very heady. You can't do it for very long. In fact, I'm almost getting so I can't sniff it anymore. It was quick, wasn't it? Maybe it's because we don't live those lives. We're not used to it. Our body goes, no, we have to work. We have to do this. I don't know, but it will make you feel quite nauseated. So you need the tiniest amount in small dilutions, not too often. No, we're supposed to be working, aren't we? Not too often. But also mentally, you can't be angry. You just can't be angry on Ylang Ylang. And if you are, then over time, it will go, come on, just get over it. You know, it releases it from the heart space. You can feel it opening the heart space. And of course, that's part of the blood pressure medicine as well, isn't it? You know, that bang, 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 or ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. As it slows down, the pressure moves away. It's all the same thing, this energetic movement through the body. And it guards against possessiveness. If you're a possessive person, you feel jealous a lot, then Ylang Ylanglang's very good for going, oh, just stop. Just stop. It's just flirting. Just stop. Because, of course, you get more flirty too. So you get more, you start to understand that more. Just want to kind of go to the knowledge base for a moment. I have to switch my heater off. 1 moment, please. Gosh, it's suddenly gone really hot. It's the blood rush. It's if you go to the knowledge base and you decide to look more deeply into the energetics, it's moon medicine. Things that are ruled by the moon are that which is hidden, that is occult, that is thoughts and intuition and feelings, all of the stuff that's going on in the background. It's very, very interesting stuff. Moon medicine is very, very strong medicine for helping us get out of the conscious thought process, which is sun medicine, the ego. We go back and we say, Freud would say, to the id, to the stuff that went on before that's pulling the strings. Ylang Ylang doesn't necessarily ask us to go investigate it. It just goes, let me go there. Let me go and play with the kids, you know. This is your childhood stuff. And it just kind of moves it and releases those. You're being pulled like a puppet, aren't you? That's where the anger comes from. That's where the possessiveness comes from. You know, that's a trauma that's caused that. Somebody's done that to you. That you're not born that way. Something happens and Ylang Ylang goes, let me deal with that. You go and play, I'll deal with that. So moon medicine, very, very interesting. And also, I'm not giving away too much, I don't think, when it says it harmonises Shen. There's a big, big lecture in the knowledge base about Shen. There's many, many different sort of facets to how Shen works, but basically it's the thoughts, the feelings, the mind, the unconsciousness, the unconscious. God with a small g, God with a big G. All of those things come together in one big thing and it harmonises them. So things start to move more smoothly and calmly and just more relaxed, less tension in the life. You know, we're slackening those strings, you know. Right, hang loose, baby, hang loose. That's what it's doing. It's weird, isn't it? Isn't it weird how we say these things already? We know what it's doing. So I would heartily recommend that you take Rhiannon Lewis's tremendous advice. Pick up that Ylang Ylang and sit down and go, how does that make me feel? Then, yeah, then grab your copy of The Tongue of the Trees. Go and get it. And read the poem that I wrote about it, because she speaks. She really speaks. So I'm going to show you the slides in a moment. Just for the 30-second recap, we're going to look at a spread of how we use these Tongue of the Trees cards. What is she talking about when she says the Tongue of the Trees? I'm going to show you a layout. Ylang Ylanglang's not in it, so there's no cheating there, but I will show you some other oils and tell you more about it that way. And then I'm going to come back and tell you the safety. And then finally, we're going to go across to Hungary and learn about blending. So see you in a moment. I'm going to run through a quick layout for you to show you the different cards. Now, one of the things that we're not going to tell you in this video, in these videos, is the poem that goes with the cards. But for this layout, we will read them to you just so that you get a chance to sort of feel how the different poems look. So I thought I'd show you the cards. As you can see, lovely little box. I'll show you the other side. Boring stuff, except for cool stuff what I read. Okay, so if we open it up, we can see that the cards just have one logo on, and that is because these originally were Gegle's cards. He's been selling these for a long time in Hungary. Mostly they've been bought by kinesiologists, interestingly enough. They've been doing the energy work with them. They haven't got any aromatherapy background, but they've been able to tap into the energetics of the oils to be able to move emotional blockages. So let's show you. So these come out nice and easy because we've got beautiful little ribbons. And let's get rid of that. So if I said to the cards, what energy do I need? What oils will help me do the best job with these videos? Let's have a... Now, my friend Belinda used these the other day, and she does have a habit of shuffling them the wrong way. So we'll have to hope that they're all the way up. I'm not doing a good job of keeping them that way. So let's have a look. What do I need to do a great job? So I think, it's up to you how you do it, but I think cut it 3 ways, cut it back. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So first 3 cards off the top. Cedarwood Virginian. I'll tell you why I'm laughing at that in a minute. Rose and lavender. That's a beautiful blend, isn't it? Reason why I was laughing about a Cedarwood Virginian is when Gegle and I came to do the notes of all the different cards, we both went, oh, we've done these cards for Cedarwood Virginian and I don't really know how to explain them differently. And because I was doing lots of editing work, I went, oh, just leave it. So yesterday I did a meditation with Cedarwood Virginian and got the most beautiful, beautiful work out of it. So you must tap into that tomorrow, have a listen to that video and see it was really different stuff that came out. So let's have a look. So if we go to the book, we can see that there's a brown streak on cedarwood, and that tells us it's the woods. So we find the woods. Slowly but surely we find the woods. At the back. Okay, so I'm going to use the other cards just to cover up the other pages, because you know what? Sooner or later you're going to have to pay me for something. So, Cedarwood Virginian. Actually, I'll show you this, but I'll read it to you because I'm hoping that it doesn't turn back to front on you, but it may well do. So, Cedarwood Virginian says, hold strong. Don't be swayed by the winds of change around you. Stand tall. Resist the temptation to listen as the naysayers surround you. Keep focused on the job you have in hand. Remain strategic. Don't veer from tactics you've planned. Listen intently to information on the breeze. Remain determined. Your courage is what makes me pleased. Hold strong. Don't be swayed by the winds of change around you. Stand tall. Resist the temptation to listen as the naysayers surround you. Keep focused on the job you have in hand. Remain strategic. Don't veer from tactics you've planned. Listen intently to information on the breeze. Remain determined. Your courage is what makes me pleased. And I'd forgotten, I stopped halfway through because I'd forgotten this is the only one that went like around. It kept repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. And that taps in beautifully to the determination, doesn't it? I'm keeping on reminding you. I'm keeping on reminding you. I'm keeping on reminding you. So, and actually, definitely watch the video on Cedarwood Virginian, because you'll see just how spooky that is when you see the meditation work I did. Now, you'll also see on here at the bottom of the page, there's the energetics. Now, we're not going to talk about these energetics at all in the video. You might want to go and buy our knowledge base. Now, the knowledge base is completely based on this, and it is a set of lessons on each of the aspects. So middle to base, you're going to hear about that today when Gergely does his blending, so that's there. It also vibrates on the throat chakra. So what does that mean? Within the knowledge base, there is a complete set of information about the different chakras. We do as a lecture on each different chakra, how it affects on the emotional body, how it affects the physical body, how it affects the mental and spiritual bodies, and how that's working. So when we're looking at the knowledge base, this information here describes how the energies move through the system. What energy shift has taken place that we are getting these different physical problems and mental issues. So we can see that cedarwood Virginian operates on the water element and the earth element. And again, in the knowledge base, there's a complete section about, we talk about the about half an hour about the water element, then again about half an hour for the earth element, metal, fire, and whatever the other one is, gone out of my head. And then here we can see Sagittarius. Now, so that tells us that what planetary rulership it comes under. This is medical astrology, and this is actually how I see the different energetics playing out. Some people see it through the Ayurvedic, some people see it through Chinese medicine. This is always the lens I see it through. And usually we'll talk about how it's ruled by the moon or the sun or Saturn and the different trends that we see out. And when we look at an archetype like that, it's like, Jade Shoots always says, it's like a metaphor, and that's a great analogy of how you can see the thread playing out right across the medicine. And so you can see that cedarwood Virginian is Sagittarius. So in the knowledge base, we talk about the different signs and planets and also the different houses. If I remember right, Angelica, for example, falls under the Pisces Aries cusp. So that's really quite a difficult one to understand. There's a whole lesson about the Pisces Aries cusp. And then again, Chinese medicine, it nourishes yin. What does that mean? What does it mean? It calms Shen. Shen is an interesting phenomenon all in its own right. It's the consciousness, our mental faculties, our imagination, our emotions, God with a small g, God with a big G. All of those aspects is a complete lesson about Shen and how the essential oils can affect it and change that to move the energy. And then we can see increases Pitta, reduces Vata, balances Kapha. So it's interesting, actually. I do know at the moment all of my oils tend to come out with earth energy. It's quite interesting hearing me do the earth energy lecture because it's entirely about the challenges I am facing at the moment. But if you are somebody who sells essential oils and you're looking for a way in all of the time, right? You're talking to the person at the school gate, for example, and you can see, you know, she seems a healthy girl, to be honest. She's loving her kids, she seems happy. Imagine somebody who's got a really sing-song voice all the time. Oh, my darling, how did you get on today? Was it lovely? I know. And then child walks off. How are you? To everybody. If that sing-song voice never quite relents, then you can imagine that there's an earth energy imbalance. So any oils that fall under earth energy are a good ones to sell. So yeah, if you are interested in learning more about that, ways in, just kind of being able to see, talking to somebody, what might be clues of what's going on of that energetic shift, then head over the knowledge base to have a look at that. So what was our next card? It was Rose, wasn't it? Queen of Roses, as you know. I do love my roses. Let's have a look. So the flowers, I think, are at the front of the book, if I remember rightly. Beautiful pink. Oh, they're both flowers, aren't they? So rose, rose, rose. Damask Rose. I was thinking we'd miss Rose out, but it's not under Duff for Rose. It's under, sorry, it's not Rough for Rose. It's Duff for Damask Rose. I remember writing this one, actually. This is quite sad. So it says, standing by your graveside or sobbing into your pillow, I know your pain. On the days when you feel lonely, worried or sad, I know your pain. Through the nights where sleep seems far away and you feel like you might break, amidst the anger, the confusion and desolation, I feel your pain. For I was there, remember? When you smelled the roses of their love as your fingertips stroked my petals and tried to avoid the prick of thorn. I felt your hopes, your fears, your joy of deep connection. I ensnared it in my scent to help conjure that affection. In my fragrance remember hope. Let my aroma you complete. May scent of celebration heal you, calm you and help you sleep. For through me you are never alone, always loved and open to give and receive more. Smell me, open up and feel safe to feel love once more. Now I anticipate that these will be different for everybody, but that's entirely my dad talking to me. I feel quite choked up reading that, actually. When he died, he gave me a rose bush. My cousin works for a rose bush company, David Austin Roses. I'm sure you've heard of them. He's quite a senior manager there, and Dad arranged for a rose called Noble Anthony to be given to me and my sisters at the funeral. So I go and sit and talk to the rose bush. That's a great reminder that my dad's with me today. So that actually, Dad, that really helps. Thank you. So let's have a look at the energetics. We can see middle heart chakra, obviously. Water. Now, again, as I say, in the knowledge base, there is a much bigger lecture on water, but the energy of water is how it can flow around any obstacle and find a way to fill the space. So that's great. That's lovely. And Venus is obviously the planet of love, but there's lots more to do with beauty and money, actually. There's an interesting lecture on Venus. I like talking about Venus. Balance is Vata, Pitta and Kapha. If you don't know, Vata is very drying, Pitta is hot and fiery and moist, and Kapha is sluggish. So it brings it all into alignment. But in the knowledge base, as I say, different lectures on each of those. So it nourishes the blood. Well, I've got funny blood, actually, so that's useful to know, Dad. Thank you. Yin and essence. So yin is the feminine aspect. It's very gentle and passive and receptive, and it harmonizes the heart and Shen. We just talked about Shen. So we're going to put all these in a blend in a minute. And so last but not least, the cards have told me that I should go for lavender, which I guess is probably just over the page. Still in the pinks, as you can see. Oh, I remember this one too. Cover them up, cover them up. Can you see? There we go. Lavender's blue, dilly dilly, lavender's green. When you breathe me, dilly dilly, softly you dream. Anger and grief, dilly dilly, softly drift by. Worries and hurts, dilly dilly, kiss them goodbye. When you feel tense, dilly dilly, look for the bees. See how they buzz, dilly dilly, resting with ease. Learn from their hum, dilly dilly, for they all know. Learning to rest, dilly dilly, helps you to grow. Breathe in the scent, dilly dilly, lavender's light. Calm your stressed mind, honey honey, surrender the fight. Release cares and worries, dilly dilly, I help you to see. Life is so good, dilly dilly, just let it be. Okay, I'm going to let them flow, not force them. This helps, this really helps, you know. I've got to tell you, when I was helping Gerglade do this, he was sending me his notes, and every time they came across it, I was like, oh my goodness, I've got to do the cards. These are really hard. Didn't like my poems at all. Really found them difficult to do, and really, I just wanted to be writing my Melissa book, which I kind of still do, but I'm feeling a bit happier. Now I've got the cards in my hands and I can see them because they really help. Honestly, they really, really help. So, and of course I might be biased because it's my words talking back to me, but hearing the plant and seeing it written down, it's very, very helpful. So, actually I've probably skipped the most valuable part of the process for speed. But when you turn out your cards, if you have got the oils, I would sit and breathe the oil as you read the poem. And that's very difficult to do on this camera like this, but because then you will really hear, you'll have that connection with the plant. It will open it up to you. So top to middle note, as I say, Gaglay's going to talk to us about the blending. Water, we've just talked about how that finds ways, effortlessly finds gaps to do things, doesn't force it, just gets around any obstacle. Heart chakra again. Mercury, communication, data, information. Yeah, that's very mercurial medicine. We'll talk about that. I know there's a very interesting lecture about Mercury. I originally wrote the Mercury ropes for the pain practitioner program. And so these are quite detailed lectures, about half an hour long, the medical astrology ones, because of course that's my passion. Neutral to cool is the action. Yeah, cooling like the roses. Activates chi. Now again, we'll talk about chi in the knowledge base, but basically it's the life force. And you know how we said we talked about Shen? Well, if Shen doesn't have adequate chi forcing it through, then it becomes disrupted. And I always think about it feeling like you're treading water. So the activation of chi calms Shen or nourishes Shen or raises Shen, depending on which essential oil it is. It aggravates Vata. So yes, this is one of my favourite nags. So the world tells you to put lavender essential oil into every massage oil, into your moisturiser, into your bath. So it aggravates Vata. People, it will dry you out. That is how you get dry skin. Aggravates Vata, makes you a bit vapid, a bit dreamy. So all of the time you're like, you know, like the dreamers that wander around on a cloud. If you're not careful, too much lavender makes you that. Pacifies Kapha. So it stops you feeling sluggish, stops you feeling heavy. It's not really directly indicated for constipation, but that shift of energy through Kapha would release not only constipation, but congestion in the sinuses. And pacifies Pitta. Well, Pitta is hot, so it's calming. It reduces inflammation. Anything that's red, hot, angry, it'll calm it down. So there we go. So first, I've got my smelly stick. And really, this is only because then I can stick it down my top and you won't be able to see it. So we could use aroma pendants, we could use massage oil, sniffy sticks, whatever. This is just what works for me, and that's the most important thing, that it's the thing that works for you. So cedarwood Virginian is a fast oil, if I remember rightly. So this is quite a thin distillation. Ooh. And then we'll mop up everything off the table. Dip it up, wipe it up. Oh, it's so beautiful, it's smoky. It's beautiful, and I can tell you the lecture is about tapping into your ancestral line, and given that my ancestral line is full of wizards and witches, that's very helpful. Lots of plant healers coming to my aid. So a bit of lavender. Warm the bottle. You'll notice I cover the thing. It's not because I'm covering the labels, although it's because I can't be bothered going, don't ask me which oils I use, but it's more because it's very cold in this shed, so things get stiff, especially myrrh. Goodness me, when we come to do the myrrh video, I have to warm it up 3 weeks before. And then beautiful, beautiful rose. Look at the colour of that. Beautiful. It's my favourite bit, you know, was it waiting for it to come out, just seeing the colour. Have I got the nerve to let it drop? I have. Go on, mix, 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 blend. You know, whenever I try and do videos, I always want to have the image of oils mixing, and it nobody ever quite videos that effectively. I think it would be beautiful. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that is sheer heaven. Just beautiful. So yeah, if you obviously want to buy the cards, there's a link underneath that tells you where to get them from. But also, if you want to use the knowledge base, there's a link through to that too. And goodness me, when you start to smell that and you feel all the knowledge base opening up all the different shifts in the body and how they move and how they're executing through the physical body, it's really extraordinary. It's a whole new layer to plant medicine. So there we go. That is how to do the blending. Can't wait for you to watch Ylang talk about proper blending in a minute. How did you find that? The spreads are interesting, I think, and I have to say, since I've done that spread, I've done loads more, and I do think it's interesting how the cards really do pick up on your emotional mindset. It's very interesting. Safety of Ylang Ylang essential oil then. Well, if you are sitting there with your bottle of oil now, what do you think? Do you think we can use lots of it? It's too much, isn't it? So, from a safety point of view, thank you, Robert Tisserand. He tells us 0.8% maximum dilution, so less than 1%. So basically, if you're like me and you never do anything properly, you go a teaspoon of oil, 1 drop of essential oil, and then a little bit more carrier oil. That'll get it about right. But of course, that's about right for how strong it is. You don't want it to overpower what you're doing. But also, the reason why we have low dilutions is because there is a possibility of skin sensitization. I've never seen it, but it is such a powerful oil, I can see how that it would happen. If you are somebody who reacts to anything on your skin, if you've got hypersensitive skin, if there's like diseased skin or damaged skin, or also for little children of about 2, I just wouldn't use it. It is too potent, too powerful. And really, between you and I, the things I've said about this, that's not an oil for a baby, is it? Think about it from that point of view, yeah? It's not a children's oil. Teenager oil, oh, it is, because it balances the hormones out so much. But keep your girls on the leash, that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, otherwise, very, very safe oil to use. Just remember, use less. And if you follow your nose, you should be able to do that. Can you use it on your pet cats and dogs? I can't think of a single reason why you couldn't. Can you use it in pregnancy? Yes, you can, but I wouldn't use till after 37 weeks, please. It's because it's a balancing oil. It acts on the reproductive system. Just let the system do its own job. Don't play silly buggers with it, really. I wouldn't. It's lovely in labour though, but again, only in small amounts. And I can think of better oils to use. Rose and jasmine, geranium, all of those are lovelier in labour, really. But if there is a situation where you are struggling, then yes, after 37 weeks. The only reason I can think of that you would want to use it in pregnancy is high blood pressure, and it's what it's made for. So I would say don't put it on topically. Just get yourself a little aroma pendant or tissue. Stick it under your bra strap. Breathe it that way. You're only going to need small amounts. It might make you feel nauseous after 10 minutes or so. Put it down, come back to it. No need to put this in the bath. No need to be massaging with it. Use it as your inhalant. Beautiful. And I tell you what, you wear that on there and the amount of people who come up to you and go, You smell nice. Because I do. I know what I'm doing. I know how to get you, my little pheromones babies. So, there you go. I am going to send you over now to Budapest from the magic from the Ludlow shed, nearly in Wales, in the middle of a massive storm, incidentally. Then over to Budapest. And I'll see you in a moment. Look at the slides. Blending.
Again, and today we are going to talk about Ylang Ylang. And here's your beautiful card again. Sorry, it says Ylang Ylang, and the keyword is delights. And then you can see the beautiful petals of the plant. They are magical yellow, and then you can see it's like an octopus sometimes with all those petals coming around. Okay, so it is a very delightful, I could say, almost like a languid aroma, which embraces you. It's sweet, it gives you delight, as the keyword says. Now, a couple of interesting things about Ylang Ylang, because as I mentioned, I always want to give you some extra information on the plants we are talking about and the essential oils. So first of all, in aromatherapy we use, or whoever uses aromatherapy, two types of Ylang Ylang. Or in fact, are you getting confused? Yeah, I was confused first when I heard about this. So one is called Kananga. I show you the bottle, and it says Kananga, right? And the Latin name is Kananga odorata. And then if you look at another bottle, and it says Ylang Ylang, and it says Kananga odorata too. The difference is that this one, the Ylang Ylang, has a Latin name, Kananga odorata genuina, which actually means genuine in English. That means original, right? The other one, Kananga, doesn't have the genuina at the end of the Latin name, but it has another name which is not on the label, and it's called macrophylla. Macrophylla means big, phylla means petals. So it's a variation of Kananga odorata, which has bigger petals. Now, what is the difference? Kananga, as we call it, is this variation actually flowers more often and has more flowers than Ylang Ylang, what we call in a common name called Ylang Ylang. What does that mean? Well, first of all, it means that from the Kananga plant you can actually get more essential oil than from Ylang Ylang, and hence the difference not only in flowering, not only the number of flowers, but also in quality. So Kananga has, I wouldn't say, worse quality, but it's just not as refined as Ylang Ylang. So you will find most of Kananga essential oil in commercial preparations, hand soaps and so on and so forth, bathroom stuff that you can buy in like convenience stores and stuff. So Ylang Ylang, again, something interesting. When they distill Ylang Ylang, and I'm talking about Ylang Ylang, not Kananga, when they distill Ylang Ylang, they usually distill it in 3 different phases. The first phase is called number 1, or extra superior. This is usually the first hour when they distill the flowers. The oil that comes off the distillation unit, they collect it, and this is called number 1 or extra superior. The reason they collect it differently because it has a different chemical composition, and number 1 or extra superior has so many esters in it. Esters are usually relaxing, antidepressant. So if you have ever smelled real Ylang Ylang Extra Superior, you would find it too heavy, too sweet. So use very, very minute amounts. Now, the second phase is called the extra, or number 2, which is less sweet. And the number 3, or the last phase, they call it complete. The reason is because it completes the distillation. Sometimes, actually, which is very interesting, some of the distillers or some of the producers actually call complete also a complete variation when they mix all the 3 phases. They separate the 3 different phases and they make it to one complete blend. Anyways, so when you are blending with the Ylang Ylang, then you have to actually smell the oils, and then, you know, make sure which type you are using, because it actually has a very, very profound effect on blending. Because if you use too much Extra Superior or number 1, it actually overwhelms the whole blend. So what does it blend well with, Ylang Ylang? Well, it actually blends well with most of the citruses, so just easily use all the citruses, as we know, like orange, sweet orange. You can use bitter orange, you can use lime, you can use bergamot, and so on and so forth. So even these exotic ones like yuzu or kumquat or whatever, they all go well with the Ylang Ylang. And many other florals. So you can use rose, which would be, for me, it would be like a really overwhelming blend. It's too much for me, but rose and Ylang Ylang is a very delightful, sweet, embracing, and warm blend. So anyways, but you can also use patchouli, sandalwood, and vetiver. They all go well with Ylang Ylang. Very, very warming blend. So, you know, if you use them during the winter time, it just gives you some more sunshine, just some more zest for life. Then Ylang Ylang also goes well with black pepper or some of the resins, such as like benzoate, for example. So what kind of note is Ylang Ylang? Actually, a lot of people would go for top note, but it is actually a base note. And the reason is because it is so lingering. So it not only lingers in your noses, but it also lingers within a blend and sort of like fixes the other oils in the blend. So this is it for today, and I'll see you soon.
Absolutely love that gurgley. Wasn't that lovely? I really enjoyed watching that. It's so nice to see somebody else's ideas of what to blend together. A couple of those blends I would never have thought of, so I'm excited to have a go. So we're nearly at the end. Just want to very quickly tell you a little bit about the people we've chosen to sell our oils for us. Fragrant Earth are the first company to support us. They're based in Glastonbury, which is the most mystical of places in England, and they have been operating as an essential oil supplier for over 40 years. They supply some of the most beautiful skincare houses in the world, really. When you go into their showroom and you see the places that have used their oils, you realise what good quality products they have, and they very kindly agreed to distribute the Tongues of the Trees cards for us. If you have a look in the below, you'll see a link to buy them. What I'd also say to you is, if we have made you fall in love with this essential oil, they can also send that out to you, and they are beautiful, beautiful oils. And of course you'll save yourself some shipping too, probably. What I will say is, just for transparency, Gurgley and I will earn a commission off that sale. So if you decide to buy from that, not only do you get yourself a beautiful oil, it's a lovely way to say thank you to us for the information that we've given you. But hopefully, most important, get your Tongue of the Trees cards. You will not find a more satisfying way of using the essential oils. So thank you for being with us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Dexter's going to tell you how in a moment, and hopefully we'll see you on the next video.
You get your phone, you turn it this way up, and then there's a little red subscribe button. Turn it grey by clicking it, and then there's a little bell. Click that and press all at the bottom of your phone or tablet or computer. It will say you will receive all notifications, and then there's a little hand with a thumbs up. Click that, it'll turn it blue and it says added to your liked videos, and there will be comments, and if you want to you can send a comment and say like hi's to Mum and Gaggley, and then the link to the next video will be in the description below underneath the video. So bye.